Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
the J guy.
the J guy.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the episode. It's going to be a special episode. We have a couple some guests join us, and we're going to turn on this little comment thing. We'll see how that works out for us. And good morning, everybody. Well, we're in a new world now.
We are. Oh yes, Pierre finally has a seat. Dun, dun, dun.
He returns. He returns.
Yeah.
I wonder how everybody feels about that.
I
Put
know.
it in the chat, okay? Because now we put this little whole chat scroller thing on, and we'd love to hear from you.
Mhm.
And welcome to our rebuilt studio.
Yes, we had a very quick teardown yesterday, right after the show, because we were having our spray foam put in. So there'll hopefully be less ding, 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 ding on the roof when it rains, and will be a lot warmer and cooler. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that works out for us in here.
It certainly was warmer because we took the AC out because we're putting in a heat pump to cover heat and cold and be on our electric for the winter. But no, I'm happy that we got this done. It's a quick teardown and a quick rebuild to be on time for the episode with Nico and Rob last night.
Yeah. No, you got it. Well, we got it done because you had a bunch of stuff going on yesterday as well. And then we ended with the live stream of the election. So how did that go for you?
That was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm tired. Certainly tired because it was a long day for me. But it was a good time. I like Rob and Nico a lot. If you don't know the show, it's the Political Orphans, and Rob's the Liberal, and Nico's the Conservative. And I was the Albertan last night. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Oh, look at our chats. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Feels great. I feel great. Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, good friend of Martin. Yeah, we're just waiting for a horse to die, Martin. Not really, but we miss you, buddy.
Yeah, we miss you, Martin.
Yeah, a lot. So it'd be great to have you back here sometime soon. You can come check out the studio. Maybe record some duet, Martin and I.
Yeah, reunited. And good morning to everyone in our locals chat as well. I see you. Good morning. And yes, Jason, great show with Nico last night. That's from Pietro.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, it was a lot of fun because it was just one of those last minute things we put together, and it turned out like nobody was covering it. Northern something. So please put in the chat the name of that show. I was covering it, but nobody else. So we did great numbers on X for the audience, and yeah, we watched as the big surprise of the night. No, there's no big surprise.
No,
we called it. We knew it. We're just trying to figure out what number it was going to be. And we'll get into that when they show up because we have a winner to guess the number.
Oh, there was that? Nice.
Yeah. If we go by Price is Right's rule.
Oh, yeah.
Without going over.
Winner. Chicken dinner. Is it chicken dinner or turkey dinner? I've heard both.
Poultry dinner.
Poultry. Guinea fowl dinner.
Good morning, babe. How are you?
I'm all right. Had a busy day as well. Like it was just nonstop, go from the moment we got up to be busy with the boys too. So yeah, today's a work day, but it's a home day as well, which will be nice. Maybe check on the piggies a little bit later too.
I don't call the kids that. I call them little boys, little men.
They're my monkeys though. I call them our little monkeys.
Yeah, and we have a special day coming up in a couple of days.
We do? What's going on? Yes, on Thursday is our anniversary.
How many years will that be?
Many.
Many.
Well, it'll be 17 married, 20 together. Team Levine, baby.
Boing. Yeah, and we'll be on the road. So we'll be heading into Saskatchewan on our anniversary.
For another wedding.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Yeah, we're actually going to another wedding for the weekend, so that's going to be nice.
And we'll see our good friend Nadine Ness on the way and hang out with her and her chickens.
Yeah.
Chickens everywhere.
Yeah, chickens everywhere. Exactly. Everywhere.
I don't know if she has pigs, though.
No, I don't think not yet. They plan to, though. I think I remember her saying that they plan to get the pigs.
Yeah. Great homestead they have there on top of a hill in the middle of nowhere. It's
beautiful
wonderful.
Home, too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing good work. They're building it and constructing it. And maybe we'll do it from the studio. Maybe we'll do the show from the studio.
Maybe. I reached out. She and I are going to connect. But yeah, we reached out to her so we can just coordinate the logistics of when we're arriving, when we're leaving. Because yeah, we got a very busy week ahead of us once we hit the road.
So after the wedding, what's up for us?
Lots of travel. My husband is always scheduling lots of travel for us, but this should be the last travel that we participate in, the boys and I. The rest is you've got a lot of stuff coming up for September, though. You got Ontario for Detective Helen Gruce, and then the We Unity
down at Calgary
conference. Yeah,
We Unify.
We Unify that conference coming up there.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, weunify.ca. I posted a couple of times. There'll be a speaker. It looks like the Saturday evening. We'll be talking about sovereignty. There's a large panel, or not even panel, a large list of speakers on that subject. But the trip after the wedding is BC. So we'll be picking up a few of those interviews for the Alberta Self-Determination Series. And we got to get confirmation. He's back tomorrow because he's on vacation till the 20th. But it'll be Honorable Brian Peckford.
Yeah,
will be joining us.
That should be cool. I know that's the one that you've been looking forward to having that interview. So in the flesh.
Yep, in the flesh. And again, I keep referring to it like collecting hockey cards, getting a series of 50 people together. And he's certainly one of the all-stars I was trying to collect, one of those rare cards. Yeah. It wasn't easy because he was willing to do it online. But I'm trying to record it in 4K in person. It's a different feeling. And I'll travel. So
we'll travel. We'll travel.
Well, yeah, you could head up north after Calgary if you wanted to, but you haven't done Vancouver with the boys.
No, I know. We'll have a conversation about that later. But yeah, there's lots of stuff going on here as well. But the main thing is getting these interviews because I think finishing the series and Honorable Brian Peckford is definitely an important voice to hear.
We'll also meet. I've met him in the flesh. I don't know if you have, but Ray McGuinness. We'll see him.
Yeah, I've met Ray. I've met him when we were down. He was down in Lethbridge.
Okay.
So now I've met Ray. I've seen the glasses in the flesh.
That's right. That's right. I love those glasses. And then Curtis Stone. We'll go see him and have a conversation with him. We're gonna stay at his place in his homestead. That'll be nice.
Yeah, no, there's lots of really important voices that we're going to be contributing to the series, and I hope you guys all enjoy.
Yep. So BC is the last place that we were planning to hit. So 3 more voices out of BC. They all have very strong opinions on the future of Canada, sovereignty for Alberta, and what separation could look like, and whether or not we should have it. Curtis Stone's, he's very strongly opinionated on this subject. So I think you'll all enjoy that episode. And of course, Ray McGuinness, our author, he's been writing about the freedom movement and all that good stuff and doing good work there. So it'd be nice to catch up with him again.
And there are lots of voices. I should say there are lots of people who are listening and watching. So yesterday on our stream, we had someone in Manitoba saying Manitoba's watching because they wanted, and then Saskatchewan as well saying we're watching too. Everyone's watching to see what Alberta's going to do, and even maybe the steps they're taking, because it seems like the prairies would like to make some changes too. And if we unify, basically, even though we want to try and create our own independence, but if the 3 main bodies within the center of Canada are speaking up, saying, "Look, we want change too," it could get that ball rolling.
Yeah, see, people want a unification there. They actually want to see Saskatchewan and Alberta kind of team up. But I don't. I'd like to see us work together strongly after.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I don't want it either. But I think it encourages others to push for their own independence. And then, we can work together afterwards. For sure. I agree with that.
And look, it's not that I don't want to be with Saskatchewan. I grew up there. Okay. So it's a lot of time in Saskatoon. A lot of my elementary school days were there. And I love the people of Saskatchewan. It's just a too many cooks in the kitchen syndrome.
Yep.
If we're all trying to, get one path forward, who's leading what, I think the Clarity Act made it clear you should separate separately, independently. You can do it all at the same time. There's no rule that says you can't. In fact, we may see some more rumblings out of Quebec. One of the interviews that we're trying to get booked when I go see Detective Helen Gruce is the leader of the Parti Québécois. They just won a by-election there. So I'm going to see if we can maybe sit down with him while I'm out there to see what's happening in Quebec. It seems to be coming back, this whole separatist idea there.
Right, the fire's been relit. I actually don't ever think it's ever gone out, but I think maybe the gas has been turned up a bit now.
Well, it would die down to about 10% support. Kind of like we'll see with Michael Wagner's interview, but he mentioned how there's always been about a single-digit support for separation in Alberta until
Alberta or
68.
Quebec?
Sorry, in Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah, in Alberta until 68, when Pierre Trudeau started his attack on Alberta. Then it became double digits and stayed in double digits. But now it's higher than ever before. So I think Quebec has been the same thing. There's always been a group that wants to take off, but now it's starting to grow again. Because the election of that by-election, it was a bit of a surprise win for a lot of us, because Parti Québécois is the separatist party.
Right.
So, and their promise is you put them into provincial government, they're going to bring a referendum right away. And I believe their election is 26, so that'd be a referendum by 27. Yeah.
Excellent. I think it's always good for a nation to be revamped and revisited every now and again, whether it's their constitution, whether it's the way they have states or provinces or territories or areas within it. So I'm excited to see what, in our lifetime, what Alberta is going to achieve, and then maybe what the rest of the Canadian provinces want to achieve as well.
Yeah, and during the stream last night, we were taking lots of questions. It was wonderful. But somebody asked, now that Canada's kind of falling apart, would you guys consider leaving? And Nico said he would leave to I think he said South America would be somewhere he would take a look at. Rob said he's not leaving. He's got family here. He's not going to leave no matter what. He's going to ride it out. And I said, well, yes and no, because yes, Alberta should leave. No, we'll stay in Alberta.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We're not really going to move, but I think Alberta is on the fast track now. And this Pierre win may even open that door some more. And let me explain to you how. Before the by-election, Pierre was very quiet on independence, other than saying he wants to see United Canada. Doesn't want to see Alberta leave, but he wasn't pushing that subject much at all. He was very quiet. I think he understood where he was running, and he wanted to get the high numbers, and we'll get into those when Rob and Nico get here. But I think now that he's won, he's going to ratchet up a couple notches here about pushing the unity of Canada with Alberta messaging. I think he's going to align a lot more with Danielle Smith's messaging, a united sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. And he's going to push some of the talking points that Danielle has as a way to kind of represent Alberta more, for the purpose of slowing down the momentum. Now, I think it's a double-edged sword, though. If he does do that, the Albertans, who definitely want to see a lot more change, are going to see him as not an ally. So that might be enough to cause Albertans to take a closer look at the Conservative Party and who they're aligned with, and realize it may not be with them. So they already threw the Liberals out. But if a large group of Albertans see Conservative Party as a non-ally, that might be enough for them to say, okay, well, we don't need the federal system at all. We don't need these representatives. We don't need Ottawa. Let's just rebuild something new. So it's going to be interesting to see how this impacts the momentum.
My gut is that he's going to be tone deaf and still push Go Canada. I don't think he's going to. I think that's just my gut. I think the Conservative Party and Pierre are tone deaf to the movement within Alberta. I think they're going to try and ignore it and say nothing to see here. It's just a few voices. That's my gut. I think they're just going to completely try to ignore it and push Canada as a whole, and nothing to see, nothing to discuss here. Just a small group with
fringe
minority. That's my gut. Because this is a federal party, I think that's the stance they're going to take. Just ignore it and try and push Canada.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher for them to. Okay, well, I don't think that would be tone deaf, because there's still a majority of people who don't want to leave Canada. It's shrinking. It's a shrinking group, but it still is, I believe, the larger majority group. So it wouldn't be tone deaf, because he would be talking to the majority. But a majority of Conservatives, at least on the provincial level, the UCP level, 2/3 say it's time to go. So it may be tone deaf to Conservatives, but maybe not necessarily to all of Alberta. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I just think, I don't think as a federal party they're going to acknowledge it. And I just don't think so.
Well, I think they'll acknowledge it in that they'll talk about it, but it'll be to stay in Canada. So maybe he'll be talking about pipelines and removing the gun ban and some other things that are important to Albertans. But he's going to skip the important issues. I don't think he's going to get on board for the pension plan, Alberta tax collection, maybe even the police force. And these are all things that Quebec has right now. So Alberta should at least head in that direction, and I don't know how supportive he'll be on that, but we're about to find out, because I think he's going to come out of the I'm in my campaign mode. He's going to come out of that, and we'll start seeing the real here.
Yeah, and Brian and Marion, yes, I completely agree, Paula. I agree with you, Paula. Pierre's too much for the East. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he is definitely an East leaning, because the Laurentian elite are the ones that will put him in power. He does want to be prime minister one day, and he knows he needs to cater and pander, or at least lean that way for sure. There's no doubt there that that's going to happen. He has to, because he wants to be prime minister one day. But what I'm talking about is specifically in Alberta. Albertans, are they going to trust that he's going to try and bring a new future for them? Or are they going to realize that it doesn't matter red or blue, no matter who, Alberta's not going to go with you? We'll see what happens.
You're a poet and you know it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, since 1968, every single prime minister. Another question that came up on the stream last night was, who's been a great prime minister for Canada? And I couldn't come up with one during my lifetime. And if you look back, and this is something Nico agreed with, if you look back to the mid-60s when they lost JFK, from that point on, they haven't had a great leader, and neither have we. It was Trudeau in 1968 when he first took the stage. So from 1968 and on, none of them have been great, in my opinion. There's just been worse, or less worse than the other guy type of thing going on here. But conservative or liberal, they've all been globalists, bringing us into that fold, pushing that agenda, forgetting about the West. Some promises out of Harper were not kept, especially around the gun legislation. He was supposed to repeal the entire thing, but he only repealed the registration of firearms. And I don't even think that was because he wanted to, is because it became a $1 billion scandal. Like, tons of money went into it, nothing came out, so he canceled it. But no, that was Bill 69 at the time. He was supposed to revoke it. He didn't. And then, of course, the Liberals expanded it. It turned into bans on the in council level, so order in council level. And yeah, here we are. A lot of Albertans are still upset about the loss of the property rights.
Yeah, and when I came to Canada, my first prime minister, actually, because it was after the election, was Stephen Harper. So who was before Stephen Harper? Something Martin.
Klitschko. Paul Martin.
Paul Martin was who was the current prime minister, and then Harper took over. So that was my time for arriving in Canada. So anything prior to, I'm not aware of. I didn't get to live through within Canada, but yeah, I can certainly say I haven't. There haven't been many prime ministers or premiers in Ontario that I've been under.
Oh, you hated Wynne.
Oh, I disliked that woman with a passion. I really did, and she just anyway. I don't think she did wonders for Ontario, and I think Ontario's just been downhill ever since. Other than, bless him, Rob Ford, but then again, he was more of a comedic character. But he did try, I believe, to implement good business sense within Ontario, and then
Rob Ford.
Yeah, Rob Ford,
mayor of Toronto.
Oh yes, that's right. He was the mayor, and then it was then Doug became premier.
Correct. Yeah. No, you're right for Toronto. Rob was a great selection. It was a lot of fun, a lot of entertainment. He stopped the gravy train, saved them $1 billion right away, and then had extracurricular activities that he shared a lot with the press and some hidden stuff. But God bless him. Rest in peace. It was sad when he passed. But yeah, Rob was Toronto, so the GTA.
Comments here. Federal Party will not speak to any separation except as threats by the province. Yeah, I agree. Squirrel.ca. Marie, to be honest, it was like nails on a chalkboard to hear that Pierre won. Just don't know how I feel about it right now. Nails on a chalkboard. Yeah.
That's never bugged me. The nails on a chalkboard, it bugs some people, but it's never bugged me. Maybe it's wired differently. But we knew it was coming. But just like the election for Carney, it may add gasoline to and oil and fuel and non-renewables to the fire, so that Albertans take that step forward. I do think he's going to let a lot of people down that voted for him last night.
There's some really great conversations here. The federal Conservative will never be elected. I feel this is the end of any Conservative government in Ottawa. We will never have, this is Becky, who's in Alberta, we will never have representation until each province has equal representation. Agreed.
So the Senate, the triple E thing there would be a step in the right direction. So elected, effective, and there's another one where it's balanced, where every province gets 2 instead of the current system. So the triple E.
People want change. People want change, and I like the fact that Quebec may have started it, but I think Alberta is the one who's more likely now to be able to achieve it. It's exciting times.
I think elective, effective, and equal, something along those lines for the triple E. The triple E Senate. Yeah, people want change there for sure. It's been promised. Harper was supposed to do some work there, and he didn't. But from my understanding, he got stopped at the Supreme Court level. And I don't even know why the Supreme Court had a say in that, because that's unbalanced as well. That's heavily Quebec, Ontario. And I'm not sure why sometimes the Supreme Court has a say on things like that. The Prime Minister has the power to do something. Like what he was trying to do is he couldn't change how it was done, but he was going to make it so that the province can elect their senators and then be appointed by the Prime Minister instead of just simply appointed by the Prime Minister. And this is how we get our Prime Minister. It's appointed by the Governor General. So it was not a bad idea. I think he did a few of them, and then the Supreme Court stopped them, which I don't understand. Like, why in the world would the Supreme Court stop that? Like, if a province wants to elect a senator and they get appointed, what's wrong with that? But they did.
Oh, no, nothing's wrong with that on paper, but probably the reality and the workings of Ottawa. No, thanks. We like more control.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, because that did give the Liberals a lot of control to kind of just change the whole Senate under Trudeau. And that might have been a different outcome for him if the provinces, especially in the West, were electing who they wanted to have representation. So, look, I think we're playing in a broken system.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I nod my head, but I think it's unfortunate that's the case. I agree. I'm a very pessimistic. Look, I would love to be all sunshine and rainbows, but I think we're seeing that, no, there are some things that are not black and white, are not how they should be. But we just got to keep fighting against it and exposing it. Yeah, why is something like this when really this makes more sense? But that's the way it's been. But why isn't it the other? Like, always question. I think that's the important thing we need to do. Just to really just bring the awareness and say, like, why is something the way it is? And let's try and find a better way, like Alberta independence.
And sometimes you have to get into that system and fight it.
Correct.
So I think we can go ahead and share some of our news that we're working on. All the powers that be understand and know. We've got all the paperwork. Everything has been filed, but it's going to be.
Yeah,
signatures and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start with your announcement.
Yeah, so I'm going to be running for school board trustee in our local area, so Ward 2 for the Wildrose School Division. I think it's important to contribute to your community. This is something we've spoken about many times, like say, you go on your library board, go for your school boards, all that type of thing. And that's something I'm going to be running for. So the election on October 20th, we're going to be putting my name forward. Got to get the paperwork in, I think, before September 22nd, something like that. But yeah, got my signatures, just got to fill out some forms, get an affidavit, all that type of thing. And Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. I do have an Uncle Bob, by the way. And the incumbent, who are you running against?
Well, there's someone, she's not going to be running again. So it's going to be up to myself and someone else who's going to throw their hat in the ring. But she served the community for many, many years. Thank you very much, May. But there's going to be a new position for someone new in Ward 2 in the Wildrose School Division. Hopefully me. So if you're in the area, vote. But I think it's important to contribute to your community. Education is something I'm interested in. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing.
Congratulations. Very proud of you about that one. Very proud.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Little Elvis here. And my little announcement is, I'm getting involved too. So Ward 2, Wild Rose for I'm not running against you. It's going to be Division 6 of Brazeau County Council. Yeah. So I'll be running for council, and I'm going to be running against a friend of ours, actually, Dallas. He's a good man. He goes to our church. I actually saw him on Sunday, shook his hand and said, look, I'm going to put my nomination package in, and I'll be running. We had a conversation before because I asked if he was going to continue, if he was going to run again, and he said yes. And I thought about it a bit more, but even though he's a really good man and I like him, I do want to bring a strong voice for change. I do want to leverage all the work we've done and bring it back to our community. And I asked him if we can sit down and have a coffee and possibly do a couple events together. He says that sounds fun. So stay tuned. In Buck Creek, that's the main hamlet in our division. We'll be doing some events. So looking forward to that, because what I want to do is bring forward everything we've learned, make some change, and bring a strong voice for the future of our children. I believe that Dallas has done a good job kind of working with the council, but I think we need a bold, strong voice on there that's not afraid to be the Lisa Robinson on the council. They push really hard to make change and make sure that we're fully represented. So if you're in Brazeau County, Division 6, which is Buck Creek, to the east of Breton, but it doesn't include Breton. Breton's municipality. Keep an eye out for us. We'll be knocking on your door, sharing what we're doing with the school board trustee position for you and council for me.
Yep. Yeah, no, excited to serve our community. I love where we live, and I think it's important to try and play a role. And you don't even need to try to be disruptive. It's just a case of contributing to and being a part of. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
So I highly recommend if you feel a calling to it or think you can contribute to it. You have another month or so to get things ready. 5 signatures, criminal record search. And that's about it. And you can get yourself on that ballot and run for council, because I think this is a grassroots thing. We have to go to the school boards. We have to go to the library boards. We have to get on council and make sure that common sense, strong change voices are out there now.
Yeah. And for example, the school board trustee is a part-time position. So for people who think that, I can't do this, I don't have the time, or I have a full-time job, I think you could just try to make things work, because everyone's in that same boat. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got a full-time job or a part-time job, or got things going on. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try. So at least get some information. Get through what would be called upon you, what would be the schedule, and see if it really is something you can manage. And fingers crossed you can. And like it says, get some names out there and some fresh ideas, some fresh blood, to again contribute to your community.
Now, one of the first questions you got from somebody who did endorse you was, but you're a homeschooler.
Yeah.
So why in the world would you be part of the school board if you're a homeschooler?
Because I want to contribute to education for all children. It's quite frankly. And if you look at people who run, who are the trustees, not everyone's a teacher. Not everyone's a parent who has children currently in the school system. So it's a collection of people. Some have been in education, some have an interest in subjects. So I believe there's someone who's got a history in biology. There's also an ex-RCMP. You don't necessarily have to have kids in the school board or currently in school right now. And I just so happen to educate my children, but I provide them with an education, with a curriculum. And I have a particular standard that I have, or we have. And I would love to see that standard for all children. So I think it's irrelevant that I homeschool. I think it's the fact that I am an educator. And I love education for kids. And I want to make sure that everyone, no matter what school board they're part of, with whatever method they choose to educate children with, they have the ability that it's good, it's supported, and it's right for the kids.
I love you.
For the children.
You're going to do very well. You're going to do very well. And bringing that homeschooling perspective, you're an educator, so you're a teacher, to the school board, maybe amplifying the needs and the wants of homeschoolers, maybe on a financial level, maybe some of that should be a little more fair. And maybe the school division and school board can get to the point where we would feel comfortable having our kids interact a little bit more. But right now we don't. But here we are. We got Nico. So let me bring Nico in. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much. You got your NCI hat. Congratulations. Very great organization.
Oh, yeah, right. I have a bunch of hats, so yeah, I like that hat too.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Rob. He's 1 minute late at this point, but leftists have their own time, don't they?
Yeah, but I got to be honest with you, man. I sent him the link about an hour ago. He still hasn't looked at the message, so I don't know if I would hold my breath or not on that one.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's got the link from me and from you, so if he joins, that'd be great. But it was a long night. We were busy last night, so thank you very much for inviting me to your show. I think it was a lot of fun.
I agree. We definitely do. Those shows tend to do very well as they're not as organized. Like we know politics enough to just be chatting about it without having to do hours and hours and hours of research prior to it. I don't know for your show, but I do a lot of research for mine. So it's always nice to have multiple people. A mashup, I guess, is the term we should use. And yeah, it was good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I loved how you interact with the audience, pulled up the questions, we addressed them, good, bad, ugly, everything in between. And because of you, we added this little chat box to our screen because now I noticed that we have that option now in StreamYard.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
that makes it interesting for people. They can see what's going on. They might not be able to read what's going on, but you can kind of encourage them to go where you want to go so that they can join the conversation, right?
100%. So we have a winner on our guess on who's going to, the number for Pierre, like what his percentage is going to be. We have a winner. So let's go ahead and bring this up. So 80.4% he finished with. So he kind of maintained that. It kind of settled there all the way throughout the night. And about 10% for Bonnie as well. That kind of was set pretty early too.
That kind of surprises me. Like I'm not surprised by Polyev. I thought the numbers would be lower, like we're talking about yesterday. But hey, but the Bonnie almost 10%. It's pretty much bang on the estimate that was on 338 Canada yesterday. They were calling for 10% plus or minus 4. She's bang on 10%. So it's quite interesting. It will make your next run different, I think. Yeah, or it might make your next run different.
Yeah, so the next closest groups, the Liberal, NDP, United Party, even People's Party, Green and Libertarian and Christian Heritage, add them all up, and Bonnie did better than that. So good on her for that.
Mm-hmm. But it's not surprising with the coverage that she got, though, right? Because they needed to pick someone to go against Pierre Poilievre, and she kind of made herself that during, like, even prior to their debate, she tried to get that role, and mainstream media went for it. So I guess that helped. That must have helped her something. That must have really helped her.
So using Price is Right rules, you had 65%, Rob had 71, and I had 73. So I was closest without going over. Woo, come on down.
So what do you win?
I don't know. We're still waiting to see what happens here. Like, is there a win? Is there a loss?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to see here.
Yeah, man, I don't think anybody's surprised by the results. Absolutely. We all knew that he would win, but what does that mean? Once again, to me, it's great. Good for him, I guess. But what does it mean? Again, the conservative with a big C are going crazy everywhere on social media. They're making it sound like he's here to save the conservative movement in Canada, and yet he hasn't done anything over the past few years that's worth mentioning. Anything that a leader needs to do, he hasn't done. So I'm as much as good for him for winning. I think we all saw that coming. Nobody in their right minds could think that he wouldn't win. But man, are people? I don't know why people are so happy that he won. Like he's going to change anything.
Exactly, he's not going to do. I personally don't think he's going to do anything positive to for Alberta. I think he just needed a seat. He's going to go back to Ottawa, and as I've said earlier, I think he's going to ignore the sovereignty movement within Alberta. And a few people agree in the chat as well that says Ottawa is just not going to acknowledge it, and if they do, they're going to just poo-poo all over it, and they're just going to be pushing for United Canada.
It's going to hurt him because you know what we were saying yesterday, Jason. Like I was asking you the question, how is he going to play that double role? And I don't think he can. I don't think he's. Rob yesterday was talking about how your premier Danielle Smith has been very good at walking that line. Like she's been very good at walking a tight line, and up to now she hasn't seemed to make any mistakes yet, at least not vital mistakes. But Polyev doesn't have what it takes to walk that line, and I think he's just going to alienate either the people in the riding of Battle River or the rest of Canada. And knowing Pierre Poilievre, he's not going to do anything to irritate Canada as a whole. So Battle River just voted for a guy that will not stand for their needs. At the end of the day, they just gave him his seat back. That's pretty much it. That's all it was yesterday. Damien Keurig shouldn't be allowed to run in that riding again, because you know that he doesn't care about the riding itself. He cares about the party more, which I don't know for you, but I don't vote for people like that.
No, fair enough. And I was very disappointed to see him walk away after all that great support he got. He was elected in a few times there, and he was, well, I think twice. And he was just short of his pension. And one of the things that you highlighted was not just how is he going to respond in Ottawa, but Pierre answered the question, and Cam Rose, I said Cam Moore yesterday, Cam Rose, about whether or not he's going to be around. And he's like, as the leader of the party, I'm in hotels mostly, and being the leader, you guys might get a couple little sprinkles, a little bit more than everybody else, which I think was not very cool. But he was highlighting he's not going to be around. He's not going to represent. You're not going to be able to go down to his constituency office and get a hold of him. He's going to be very unreachable. But the people of Battle River, Crowfoot, doesn't seem to mind. I think they just kind of fell in love with the idea that the leader of the party will be here, and maybe he will take on some more Alberta issues. But I think they're going to be disappointed.
I don't think he can. How is he going to be taking on issues for Alberta or defending Alberta when he's not from Alberta? He's from Ottawa. Like, as much you can tell me that he was born in Alberta, he's not Albertan. He's Ottawa. He's been in politics for more than 20 years now. That's all he knows. He couldn't even like when he was going door to door, he was still wearing preppy shoes. Do you honestly think the guys in Battle River care about your suit, bro? Like, seriously, put a t-shirt on, put some Converses on, and go shake some hands. He couldn't even bring himself to do that.
Yeah, when he would put on a cowboy hat, it would look unnatural for him. It didn't look like he knows how to wear it. And flipping his pancakes at the Calgary Stampede, that's where he's comfortable, just in front of the camera and putting on a show. You saw the transition with Pierre when he became the leader of the Conservative Party. Dropping the glasses, buffing up. There you go. Dropping the glasses.
I don't think he buffed up, because if you looked at the picture, and as somebody that's been a gym rat most of my life, I think he was wearing, how do you call it?
He was wearing more fitted suits to complement his shape.
No, he has something under his shirt. He has Spanx under his shirt. I'm ready to bet that guy wears Spanx, because from one day to the other, he has a stomach, the other he doesn't. Just pay attention. Again, I've been in fitness most of my life, right? So I pay attention to those things, but they drop the glasses, they put the Spanx on, and
the girdle. Clown World saying he wore a girdle.
And it worked. It worked. Clearly it worked, right?
Yep. But we'll see now. Now his feet are going to be to the fire. Now that he's holding an Alberta seat, he's going to have a lot more pressure for sure from his constituents, and he's going to be under a microscope here in Alberta. Every move he makes, he's going to have to respond to it. Alberta is very good at pushing Conservative leaders in any shape or form to be held accountable. So this is a province that will remove a Conservative leader if they're not doing a good job. Just look at Jason Kenney, and there's a long history of that. So maybe this is going to be a good thing overall, because he's not going to get away with much. Maybe he was comfortable in Ottawa area, but it's going to be a lot more fire here, I think.
Do you want to take that comment? There's a comment from Deb Phillips. I'd love
Phillips,
to address it.
Pierre rant, how juvenile. I think it's more of a conversation, not necessarily a rant.
But
I
the
don't
thing
understand
is
what Deb
that
was talking about.
oh, it's probably because of me, because I tend to rant on Pierre Polyev, and I'm not
Your
a
fault.
Pierre Polyev supporter. So it's always my fault. I take 70% of the blame. But the point in the matter is that if, as conservative small c, we don't call out our leaders conservative with a big C, who's going to hold them accountable? You can hate what I'm saying. What I'm saying can bother you, but remember that they lost 4 elections in a row, and they keep on diluting their message year over year over year over year. Are you telling me that Pierre Polyev sounded like a conservative during the last election?
No.
Because if you do, that means you consider Mark Carney a conservative, because he was able to steal his ideas and just change the background, put it red, and that's it. That's a liberal idea now. So we need more conservative, a real conservative movement that will want to go back to what Canada was when I grew up. Because you guys know, I have a newborn son. He's 6 weeks old, and that little guy will not experience the Canada I grew up in. That dream is gone. Yet the 80s, I would argue that the 80s were some of the great time, if not the last great time in Canada. My son won't get to see that because our politicians are weak. So we can blame 10 years of liberal policies for destroying our country. Granted, I couldn't agree more. But at the same time, you have to remember that it is Harper that put our immigration policies in place. He's the one that put it in place that enabled the Liberal Party to destroy our country over the past 10 years and just have open border policies. That's because of policies that were put in by a conservative party. So we need to take accountability for the fact that we haven't done much in the past 10 years either. Just look at the leaders. The leaders keep on getting softer and softer and softer when they should have gone harder. They shouldn't have become more right. Can you argue? Do you honestly believe, like anybody in the chat, do you honestly believe that Pierre Poilievre's a conservative? Is he really a conservative? If you did not know his political affiliation and you heard him speak, would you think he's a conservative?
No. He sounds a lot like a Democrat from the U.S. He would align a lot more with their policies for sure. And I just want to kind of address this little thing. Look, the best thing conservatives can do is hold each other accountable and critique. Criticism comes in a couple flavors. There's constructive and destructive. This is constructive criticism because we do want better. We're not trying to destroy him, take him down, leave him in the wayside. We actually want him and we root for him to do better. So this is constructive criticism, and we need more of this. If you want to just blindly follow a leader, well, you're on the wrong side, because that's exactly how the left does it. They do not hold themselves accountable. And that's the best part of conservatism, is we are bold enough, strong enough to go ahead and do constructive criticism. When we say things like, Pierre, is he going to ignore Alberta? It's true. And we really think he should be representing his constituents, because that's what a representative should do. So this is all constructive. I don't see anything destructive. And rant away, my friend. I think it's what we need to see more of. Honest, constructive criticism.
And then some of the comments here, he's left of center, progressive conservative, and he follows whatever works for him. He tried to get votes. The immigration comments really upset me with the whole, okay, we're not going to do deportation. And no, this is a big issue, though. Like, we're crying out for, Canadians are crying out for, there are no jobs, there is no housing. And
crime.
Yeah, we were just being ignored.
And that's coming from an immigrant. Paula immigrated here in 2005. And yeah, you're not pleased. You came the legal way. You did it the right way. You had to go through all of your checks.
The terms and conditions that my family and I had to fulfill are completely different now. And they've acknowledged it, because they've even said, okay, yeah, we're backtracking some of the, I guess, the liberties or the things that we allowed students to have, or those on a student visa, or those with temporary foreign workers, because they've acknowledged what's subsequently happened, and then the outcome with regards to no housing, no jobs, and even just the feedback from Canadians saying, like, what are you doing for us? New immigrants were getting free passes to our national parks. What about Canadians? What about the people who live here who would love to appreciate them more? The families who would love to take their kids there, but no, because a pass for a family of 4 or however many is X amount, and they just can't fit that in their budget. I think that would have been wonderful to offer to your Canadians, not just the new immigrants. There's a whole whack of stuff that I've got to be in my bonnet about.
There's her rant.
Yeah.
As an immigrant, the immigration, we need to deport, mass deport. We need to go through the list of people who are here, make sure that they were legit, didn't lie. And we want people that can add to Canada, not to try to change Canada or take away from Canada, or both.
Mm-hmm.
There was a poll that came out. Proud Canada shared it yesterday, and it was showing that 66% of Canadians agree that immigrants should only be allowed in Canada if they adopt Canadian values. Because that's another thing we don't talk about. Like I had a podcast with Dr. Watley a few weeks ago, and he says something that I've repeated so many times since then, but he said that as a country, you cannot have open policies and be a welfare state at the same time. You can be either. And unfortunately, in Canada, we have open borders and a welfare state. And nobody addresses that, saying that every single decision that you make about immigration will affect our healthcare, will affect our housing, will affect our education, will affect every single social service that we offer. Yet Canadians are holding the tab at the end of the day. We keep inviting people in that, one, don't necessarily care about our culture, to a point where even Trudeau said years ago that Canadians don't have a culture anymore or an identity anymore. And then we hold the bill for it. And how's that sustainable? How can we continue allowing people in like that and expect us to pay for it? And you look at reports from food banks are saying that 1 out of 4 Canadians right now is struggling to afford daily necessities. That's 25% of Canadians. So look around you. 1 out of 4 people you're looking at cannot meet his bills every single month. He has problems paying for his bills. Yet we open our borders to everyone. We keep sending, what is it, $4.3 billion that we just sent, that we're sending to Ukraine. And people are just like, oh, that's great. That's great. We need to help other people. You know, in airplane, if you've ever taken a plane, what do the flight attendant tell you? Put the air mask, the mask of air on your mouth first before you do it on your kids. Because what happens if you lose consciousness while trying to help your kids? You both are gone.
Yep.
So and now I'm racist because I'm a white guy. If I say that out loud, which I do all the time, I'm considered racist for saying that I would like our government to stop inviting people that don't care about Canada, that don't stop sending our money overseas, and instead close our border and take care of our Canadians, take care of the people that are here that's been contributing, and try to help them out with our own taxpayers' money. Yet that's racist for me to say that, right?
Well, Nico, as a Arab who was born in Nigeria and raised in England and is now Canadian and is married to a Canadian and has mixed race children, I'll be a racist with you.
Oh, there you have it. But it's insane. It's just insane that no politicians have the balls to address that problem. The only one that somewhat did was Giovanni. I can't remember, a conservative guy from, I think he's close to Toronto. He talked about the temporary worker program that needs to be stopped. He's about the only one that will somewhat address the problem. And we haven't heard much from him ever since he made those comments. I don't know if he was told you need to drop this, but you know, we talked about this yesterday, Jason. We talked about this multiple times, but Poilievre is a globalist. Yeah. He doesn't put Canada first. I don't again, if I say that, I'm hated as much by the conservative as I am from the liberal, because I will say that he's a globalist, that he doesn't put Canada first. And yet that's a fact. He was on the WEF website for years. I'm not even sure if he's taken out right now, if he's on there or not, as we speak.
It came back during the general. I haven't checked in a while, but yeah, he certainly was on there.
So this is interesting. Sorry, this is something I want to bring up here. It's interesting. you came to Canada, they need to work, they need money to start here in Canada. So off the bat, yes, when you come, terms and conditions up, if you come as an entrepreneur, you do have to come with X amount of money because you have to sustain yourself, you have to start a business, you have to hire Canadians. That's the route my parents and I came when we came to Canada. Then they add the comment here, if they're refugees, give them 1 year of help, but they need to get the benefit and job training, etc. I don't disagree. I think we should be supporting those. If we are assisting those coming to Canada, it should be to also assist them to become productive, not just assist them to come to Canada, here's some money, have a nice day. I think they need to, again, it works with the whole assimilation and contributing back into the Canadian economy, the one that is using the funds from our taxpayers to sustain you while you're here as a refugee. But it should not be a case of welcome to Canada, here's some money, here's some benefits every month, here's some housing, have a nice day.
There was 2 immigrants at the Alberta Next panel in Edmonton. The first one that came up, well, there's many immigrants, but I'm going to highlight 2 of them. One of them said in response to the housing issue in Canada, because a lot of immigrants are taking the housing, her response was Canada should be just building more houses for the immigrants. So, more, give more. Another immigrant stood up and she said, look, I immigrated here. Canada is a great country, but what they should be doing is requiring health insurance. You should not be getting access to the healthcare system without health insurance. And she highlighted how every other country in the world would do exactly that. You want to go to that country, you got to buy in, you got to get the insurance. It's not just handed to you. Canada is very unique. And as an immigrant, she said that that's wrong. Because that's taken away from Canadians, and it's also causing Canadians to be upset with immigrants themselves. And we hear this from a lot of groups who came the right way, like Paula. She's upset because now immigrants are getting a bad name in general. And there are groups that think Paula has to leave and take her kids with her because she's not a true Canadian, because there's so much anger towards immigration and immigrants today now.
It's unfortunate because
called a race traitor and a racist all in the same day.
There's a right way to do immigration. There's a right way in which those immigrants make Canada better. If we need there's a certain career path, or there's a certain type of job that Canadians are not filling, getting well-trained individuals from other countries that align with our values. Because we should have a values test. We should definitely have a values test when we let people in. And we should keep track of them to see. One of the great examples that I've used is a Free Palestine protest that you see everywhere. If you're a student, if you're on a student visa, you come here and you're always participating in those protests, kick them out. Like, is that really the type of person you want in Canada? Because it's not for me. I spend half of my time in the US. Do you think I go to the US and I start protesting what the US is doing? No, I'm a visitor. I appreciate them letting me in their country for half of the year. So I respect the people that are there, and people that come to Canada should do the exact same thing. If you're in Canada to study, go to school and study. If we see that you're always protesting, you're always talking against the government, bye-bye. You're not from here. You don't have any rights once you're here. That's a privilege. You don't come to my house and put your feet on the couch and don't expect me to kick you out. Right? And this is exactly what I'm saying. So we have I don't understand why the West, especially Canada now, is responsible for catering to foreigners. Why is it our responsibility to help others when our Canadians, like I said, one out of 4 Canadians is hurting? Why is it our responsibility to help? Look at what Trump just did. Over the weekend, he announced that he will no longer take visitor visas. He will no longer issue visitor visas to anybody from Palestine. He's like, nope, we're closing that door right now. We just said that we're going to make more than 5,000 special invitation for immigrants to come here, not on a visitor visa, to come live here from Palestine. And I'm like, why is it that the West is responsible for taking care of them when the surrounding countries that are also Muslims don't want them? Is there not something going on here? Yet, once again, if I say those things out loud, I'm considered a racist because I point out facts. But those are facts. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. If you don't like facts, check the mirror.
There's actually a few documentaries about that particular subject on why the Palestinians are not being taken in by their neighboring Arab nations. There's quite a lot of information about that. There is an answer.
Yeah, I know.
One.
I'm trying not to get you banned on YouTube. So I don't know where you're streaming right now. I'm just trying not to get you banned.
Yeah.
But hold on before we leave that subject. And they're being used as pawns. They're political pawns right now. Canada doesn't really care. Carney doesn't really care. He just wants to stoke the argument with Trump. So they're being used as pawns, and declaring that he's going to recognize Palestine as a state kind of opens the door for Alberta, because if Alberta's looking for independence, Carney can't really say, well, it probably will, but he can't have it both ways. So, they're being used as political pawns in the Middle East, globally, and now with this Canada-US issue. It's just sad to watch people being used as pawns like that.
And for anybody that disagrees with your statement about him planning to recognize Palestine as an independent state at the UN next month, he did it 24 hours before the deadline that they set themselves for the tariff negotiation with the US. So you know what that was. That was a spit in the face of Trump, knowing that that would piss him off because Trump's backing Israel. So however you feel about that conflict, no matter which side you're on, how was that in Canada's best interest to piss off on purpose our biggest ally that still buys 75 to 78% of our exports?
No, 100%. And look, they're actually getting closer to war. So with Canada saying that, the U.S. saying, okay, we're not even going to allow visitors from Palestine anymore, but then Canada say 5,000 we're bringing. This is going to cause the border to become very contentious now. And Trump is going to be able to use that as a security threat. They're like, look, we think they're bad people. They shouldn't be here. And these are his words, not mine. And you guys have a whole bunch right at our border. Most of your cities are within 100 miles of our border. So he's going to consider that a security threat. And they're going to start seeing more and more happening on that 49th parallel. And I think that's on purpose, to create a new front. You got the Eastern Front, which is Russia, Ukraine. Now you're going to have the Western Front, which is going to be the 49th parallel between Canada and U.S. And this is all just steps towards that. So they're being used as pawns. This is a massive game of chess around the world. And Carney is a bit of a chess master when it comes to European interest. So here we go. I think they're setting the stage.
And he's not stupid. For the people out there that think that Mark Carney's like, that he's like Justin Trudeau, you are sadly mistaken. Read his book. He is brilliant. I disagree with everything that comes out of his mouth. That doesn't mean he's stupid. Don't underestimate a guy like him. He is absolutely brilliant. And for the people out there that believes that this is not on purpose, read his book. He will tell you. He's been saying it for years what his plan is, and he's executing it right now. He's doing everything possible to destroy our relationship with the U.S.
Well, Nico, thank you very much for joining us today. We're now out of time. Sorry that we missed Rob. Maybe another day. Maybe we have to find an alarm clock or something. But it was great to be on your show last night with Rob. He's a good guy, and definitely want to do some more of that with you guys.
It's cool to see him move more and more to the right as a liberal. He's doing it kicking and screaming. All the amount of cookies that I'm offering are not yet working, but you can see he's moving and moving and moving. So yeah, it was great having you on yesterday. We definitely need to do more, you and I, like we spoke about, like a east-west, because as much as I'm not from Alberta and as much as I spend half my time in the US, I recognized a long time ago that what's going on in Alberta will redefine Canada. And we know that mainstream media is not going to cover it properly. So it is one of my responsibility that I've given myself to make sure that the East is aware of what you guys are doing, what's really happening, without the bias of mainstream media.
Thank you very much, Nico. You're a good man. And no, I didn't put my feet up on your table when I visited your place. So.
All good, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Have a great day. Say hi to the family.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. He's fun. I like him. Yeah, go follow the Poly Orphans on X, YouTube, everywhere else that they are. They're growing quite well on YouTube. And give them a follow. Give them a subscribe and support them. Well, there we go.
Yeah. Another one done. Another one bites the dust.
She sings, folks. She sings.
I do. Not very well, but I do.
My 2-decade-old immigrant is a singer. And did you guys realize that? She's an Arab from Nigeria, born in Nigeria, schooled in England, now in Canada. You may be the only one. You might be the only one that has that pedigree.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But thanks a lot for joining. Congratulations on running for the school board as a trustee. And you're going to get a lot of support. And you got my support. That was your first signature.
Yes. Yeah, I made sure. Because I had going out to go get my signatures. Because you only need 5, but they also recommend go get 10. But yeah, I made sure before I went out to the public, Jason signed for me. But anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
You all take care of each other. And God bless.